Why is this horse half out of his box? This is Morhib. He's a 4-year-old colt, and he's in his box behind a chain. We don't have the door closed. Why would we do this? Clearly, you know, he'd be interested in maybe going further out of his box. Well, we do it because simply he's happier this way. So we have the chain in front because sometimes when Morhib comes back from a race, or if he's stressed, he does a bit of box walking. And we found that when we put him behind the chain, and we leave him all day like that, we close it at night. Maybe we don't even have to, but we do close it at night. When we have him behind the chain, he's happier and he doesn't box walk. Now, we have another horse we'll show you in a minute. It's also a box walker, but a really bad box walker. And we have her with an open door too. It seems to help, but not as much. With him, it helps a lot. Which brings me to an interesting conversation about stable vices, of which box walking is one. What are stable vices? What do we do about them? Why do they happen? And this is springtime. This is a colt in springtime. Can you stop them? The short answer is no. You can try to make the horse happier so they do less of them. What are stable vices? Stable vices are box walking, which means the horse just sort of like a whirling dervish kind of walks around his box. That's a Fleming response, by the way. That's what colts do when they smell something interesting that they might get excited about. Box walking is one of them. Another one is weaving, when the horse just stands at the door of the box and does this. We have a couple that do that. Another one is cribbing, where a horse will grab hold of the door or some hard surface with their mouth and suck in air and sort of crib bite on something. Sometimes they just do it without biting on something. They just swallow air. That's not a vice, that's just a colt. And stable vices are, why do they happen? Some horses, they don't happen for any reason at all. Horses are meant to live outside. We put them in a box. That's the main reason why they happen. There are reasons they're in a box. There are reasons they're not outside all the time. And we try to, not let them happen in the first place, but if they do happen, there's not much you can do about it. Stable vices are sort of like somebody who smokes. You can hope they stop smoking. You can explain all the reasons they shouldn't smoke. You can really try to convince them to stop smoking. But you know what? A lot of people just don't stop smoking. and that's like a stable vice. You are a nut. This is really a nice horse, but sometimes, anyway. We'll show you another stable vice in a minute when we go up to the other horse that really is a box walker. Okay, this is Bellamore. Bellamore is a bad box walker, and we knew this when we bought her. We were warned. So this is one of the solutions. We opened it up thinking she's a little bit of a claustrophobic horse, and this, believe it or not, it actually did help a tiny bit. So Bellamore is a really bad box walker. You can see she's made a trail around the outside. It's really hard to keep her box clean because everything she does, she pulverizes into the trail. Here's actually a fresh dropping that I can actually pick up, which is a miracle because usually you can't even see them. But she is really psychotic about being alone. This is a true herd animal here. And her hay den is also empty because she eats for 3 horses, even though she's only the size of 1. So what we did with her too is we opened up this window next to another horse so she can stick her head in here and talk to her friend next door, which she stands most of her time here eating and watching him. It is a problem when you want to take her out, when you want to take him out without her, and she has to stay in the box, so she gets even worse. This is a horse that probably we'll try putting out in the paddock all the time, but again, it's like smoking. This horse is a box walker. She's always going to be a box walker. We can't do much about that, so all we do is we try to make everything as good as we can for her. And we've done what we can. We're going to have her outside a little bit more and hope that she oddly enough, she doesn't have any physical problems. Now, one of the reasons they're called stable vices is because horses can have physical problems if this keeps up. Like a weaver, it's hard on the shoes, it's hard on the joints. A box walker, they tend to always go the same way. They don't they don't change direction. So like the Americans train their racehorses always the same direction, a box walker can wear down the joints on the side that they're box walking if you let it go. She doesn't do it all the time. She gets fed first so that, you know, we don't give her, we try not to give her any excuses to be a box walker, but she's gonna do it anyway. But yeah, what other stable vices they can cause? They can wear down the joints. If a horse is a cribber, it can affect the swallowing mechanism and it can cause ulcers, or so they say. I think the jury's kind of out on that. Interestingly enough, there was a study done at one point that looked at horses that weave, which is they just kind of go back and forth like this. And they found that in the weaving, it secretes endorphins. So it's just like a self-fulfilling, you know, the more the horse weaves, the happier they are. So that's not a great thing if you want to stop that. Some boxes have what they call weaving bars, so that the horse, when they put their head out, they can't get the head too far away. But I think that just kind of frustrates the horse, and I don't think it does a lot of good. Everybody's going to have their own ideas on this. You can tell me about them in the comments. You can put cribbing collars on horses that crib, which I think are just kind of horribly barbaric and don't stop the problem anyway. I honestly think that just leave the horse alone is your best bet when you have a stable vice. You're not going to do much about it. This horse came with one. More heaps started sort of the end of last year, and it's not too bad. So I think we can sort of head that off if we're careful with careful management yet. This is sort of a lost cause stable vice wise. But let me know what you do for your stable vices. Do you do anything? Have you had any luck fixing them? Unfortunately, we can't hypnotize horses to stop smoking like you can do with people. But we try to do what we can. One of the ways to help her stop walking, though, is to make sure she has hay in front of her 24 hours a day, which is what we try to do. She eats nonstop, which is a good thing. That's why she doesn't have ulcers. So we have to keep the hay net filled. Peanut is a weaver. She doesn't do it all the time. She does it now because we're standing here watching her, and she would like to get on with it, and she would like to get fed. So, but that's an example of a weaver. Luckily, I don't have any cribbers to show you at the moment. We have a weaver, 2 box walkers. The rest of them are pretty okay. Nothing going on there. We'd rather that they don't do that, but they do, so we'll live with it. Let me know what you do. Subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell, watch next time. Let us know if you like these videos. Thank you. Bye.